Hello and welcome to the Race Coordinator Tutorials. This tutorial is going to talk about how to set up a straight round-robin race from scratch. It'll be probably one of the more common races that users out there will do. It's a very standard race. There's nothing terribly special about it, but I'm going to walk you through using the Race Wizard how to set up every aspect of that particular race format. Most of this stuff will be exactly what you'll want to do. You might want to change some of the timings or the finish methods, but you'll get to see the exact race format finished and done. Excuse me, through the Race Wizard. We'll do it. We're going to, just as a note, we're going to use this race that I create here for future tutorials. Essentially, we'll use the management wizard management screens in a lot of cases, and select this particular race as the baseline for other tutorials to start from. So it'll be very good for you to have this race format set up if you're going to follow the other tutorials, whether you want this one or not. So without any more ado, let's get going. The first thing I'm going to do is with the Race Wizard and with the management screens, there's always a heat view in there. It'll show you exactly how the heats are laid out based on your current configurations. However, it can't lay out the heats unless it knows what kind of drivers, what drivers you're going to be using. So what it does is it takes the drivers added to the driver's racing side here and just uses it as an example. Now, obviously, you don't have to race with those drivers, especially for things like round robin. Round robin races will work for any number of drivers you select. But if you provide drivers for it, it will be able to lay out heats based on the number of drivers you've added. So in this case, I'm going to add all 20. So I'm going to say add all, and what you'll see is I've added 20 drivers to this thing in order 1 through 20 by their names. The significance of the naming is that these are technically the seeding that Race Coordinator will use as well. So driver 1 is the number 1 seed, the highest ranked driver. Driver 20 is the lowest ranked driver. This is important because it'll allow you to see exactly how the different things you configure affect the heat rotations based on the seedings that there are. So you don't have to do this. This is all if you want to get an accurate view and see things in the heat views that we'll see. And I'm going to show you that while I do this. So we're going to go to the Race Wizard, like I said. We're going to do everything from here. There have been other tutorials talking about the Race Wizard and all the properties, so I'm going to just jump around and set all the properties that are important for this type of race. The first one being, of course, the name. We're going to just call it tutorial underscore, we'll call it RR for round robin. It's technically, round robin is a generic term. This is technically a straight round robin. That's what we'll set up for this time. You can do, there's multiple ways to do round robins. There's European, there's custom, but for now we're going to do a straight one. It's very simple. Just checking the track, we verified that all the tutorials are going to do assume 4-lane tracks just because it's easiest. So I've already got the 4-lane track set up. You can see it here, and I've already got it selected by automatically. The min lap time, I don't like 1 second. We're going to go up to 3 actually. Just this is based on what kind of cars you run, what kind of track you use, all those things. For me, I like 3 seconds. It's about half the time of what my normal laps are. Then we're going to jump down to the rotations. This is the important property for a round robin. This is what's going to make it a round robin. And as you can see, it defaults to round robin. It says round robin. This is really straight round robin. You'll notice there's other round robin formats, European, custom, but this is technically a straight round robin. So if we go to the heat view now, you can already see that it has set up a straight round robin. So seeds 1, 2, 3, and 4 start out in the first 4 lanes. Then in heat 2, driver 4 comes off the track, everybody else shuffles down a lane, and driver 20 comes on. That carries on. 19 comes on, 20 moves over, etc., etc. And you'll notice there are 20 heats because there are 20 drivers on a 4-lane track. So this is definitely a standard round robin. Now we can stop here if we wanted to, but not quite everything is set up just the way we want. We want to verify a few things, and we want to make sure things are the way we want them. So the next thing we're going to look at here is we're going to look at the finish method. And we do want, for this particular race, I personally like to run time limited. I like to know that my races are going to take X amount of time. If there's 20 heats and each heat is 3 minutes, I know that all 20 heats will take 60 minutes. So I like the way this defaults. I'm going to leave it that way. Other properties that we care about, drift time. I like to use drift time. I think it's a very useful property, and unfortunately it defaults to 0 because the legacy builds didn't allow drift time, and I didn't want to change anybody's race configurations by defaulting this to something other than 0. So we're going to allow 1 second drift time. That should be more than enough time for the cars to coast after the track power gets cut. The next thing we're going to talk about, we're going to do the heat callouts. I'm going to show you how to set up a few of these. These are the callouts that will tell you how much time is left in the race. So if I double click on the callout box and go to the install directory, which is race coordinator here, you go to data, audio, English, women. There's a male directory too. It's called man, and then it brings up all the wave files that race coordinator comes with. Now you'll notice here RS5W. That's race starts 5 in 5 seconds, and the W stands for woman. You'll see the SL ones, SL5W. That means what does it stand for? Start time left. Start time left. I don't know, but the SL ones are the ones that are the ones for how much time is left in the race. So all you do is you pick the one you want, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute my volume here on the PC, and what you're going to get is I'm going to pick the 300 one.
5 minutes left.
And you hear her call it out. If you hear it play, that means that's what it's going to sound like when it runs. So this one is for 5 minutes. It's 300 seconds. We're going to set the time here in seconds. And what I do is I always set them as the tip indicates. I always add an extra second onto the call out. So I'm going to play this call out when there's 5 minutes and 1 second left. So in a 3-minute race, you'll never hear this one, but that's okay. The reason is because when you hear the call out, if the driver's driving and you look up at the screen, by the time you look up at the screen, there are 5 minutes left. A second has gone by. The call-out's halfway over or whatever. So just filling in these two things isn't enough. You actually have to add the call-out, and now it appears over here, and you've added it. So you can see the file name and the value. We can add as many of these as we want for however often we want. I'm going to remute the sound because you don't need to hear them all. We'll add a 2-minute left one. This is 120
2 minutes
seconds.
left.
And again, we're going to do 121 as the time. You can add these in any order. It doesn't make any difference. The only catch is that if you add 2 at the same time value, only one of the 2 will play, and I'm going to leave it as I know which one will play, but I'm going to leave it as undefined which one. So you really want to avoid playing 2 at the same time. So normally we would fill in all of these. I'm going to save time, not do that for now. I like an auto advance time as well. I like to be able to just do things, and this also demonstrates some things. So I'm going to do an auto advance of 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, that's 60 seconds times 5, which is what's 5 minutes? 60 times 5 is 300. So in 300 seconds, we will skip to the next heat. I'm going to do another start time. I'm also going to do a start time of auto start time of 5 minutes. So you know that from the end of one heat to the beginning of the next heat will be no more than 10 minutes. If somebody starts it early, it'll start early, but now I know there's 10 minutes between heats. Again, you can now add callouts for those, and that's the race start stuff. So let's see, race starts in 300 seconds.
Race starts in 5 minutes.
301 here, just again, exactly like we did the other callouts. You're going to say add here. We're going to do it again, and
race starts in 10 seconds.
We'll add that we'll do it at 11 seconds though, and so now you'll get callouts when the race is going to auto start. The rest of the properties are sort of defaulted to decent values that we don't need to worry about here. Again, none of the properties we've changed have touched the heat view, so we're good there. We're going to look real quick at the scoring setup. We're going to accumulate heat scores for the overall standings. That's good. That means that every the laps that the drivers get across each heat will be added together. We don't want to step up race. Most of the stuff defaults to good values. We're not using points, so that's good. We want to use every heat. We don't want to drop anything. The starting stuff all starts at decent settings, group setups. The interface here, we're going to go down to here and look, and we're going to realize that we're using race day 4L. That's fine for what we're doing here. And so we're pretty much done. I'm going to create this race now. You're going to get a dialog that says creation was successful, and we're all done. Now, if we go into the race day setup screen, which I'll do, you can see the races here, tutorial RR, and we can run it, and what you'll get is you'll get the first 4 drivers. This is the first heat. This is the auto start countdown. It's got 5 minutes to go. When it expires, you'll start the race. It'll automatically start the race. You can bring up some windows here just so you can see, like the on deck window, for example. Driver 20 is on deck. He's gonna rotate into the red lane. That's it. Your round robin is created. You're all set. You're ready to race. Again, you can make you can change any of these properties any way you want, but this is a very basic round robin. I'm going to use this race, like I said, as a baseline for the other stuff, especially things like the step-up races and other stuff. It just makes it a lot easier now that the call-outs are already set up. We can carry those over. So, hope you found this useful, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Thanks.